Hello there. This is William from the Patriot Strike Back. In today's topic, we're going to talk about illegal immigration, our broken immigration system, and actually, we're going to solve it because it's not that hard to solve. And I know a lot of us are frustrated and been frustrated for many, many years. I remember back being a conservative congressional candidate 15, 20 years ago, and nobody could understand why the Republican Party wasn't solving this problem, why our borders were open. And grassroots conservatives, Christians were just so disgusted with the Republican Party. And obviously, finally, President Trump got in there and at least solved part of the problem, which was securing the border, and praise him for that. But we have a long way to go and some issues that are not that difficult, but obviously the left is going to fight us on this. For those of you new to the channel, what the Patriot Strike Back is all about is providing a roadmap of how we're going to win this battle to save our great country. This is a Christian nation with freedom of religion for all, based on capitalism, freedom, hard work, entrepreneurship. It's not supposed to be crony capitalism. And we're not supposed to be a printing press factory that causes inflation and massive unaffordability and affordability crisis, and teaches our kids nonsense. It's not what's supposed to be happening, but we've had a breakdown and a failure by the Republican Party as the socialists have been imported to this country, Islamists have been imported into this country, and we've taught for the last 40 years, we've turned our education system over to basically godless socialists that taught them, our kids for 40 years, God bad, capitalism bad, entrepreneurship bad, government great. No, the founders were government evil, unnecessary evil. History's shown that, and that's even before the two World War IIs and Hitler and all sorts of government nonsense. Business great, freedom great, God great, giving us civil rights, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, not a livable wage, not health care, because that requires you to take something from your neighbors. But that's kind of what the Patriot Strike Back is about, is solving these issues. Term limits, balanced budget amendment, specific policy issues, but more than that, giving us a roadmap to win. Because the one thing that all you guys want to know is, okay, I know the problems, I know a lot of the solutions. We need to win. And so that's what we're trying to do in this movement. You guys have a lot of great ideas. I want to have a dialogue with you all in our comments section. Hope you subscribe to the channel. Got a TikTok page. Please follow, comment, share, because it's going to take all of us. Our military can't win this battle, but you and me sure can with the backing of God. So anyway, today's subject, we'll get through it quickly because I've got some specific solutions based on common sense that I think will definitely work. We just got to do them. So President Trump's done a great job securing the border. That's problem number one. Let's not make it worse. Rounding up the convicted felons, whether they're convicted from another country for a crime or here in the United States, people committing great crimes or out on bail that state governments haven't rounded up. Fantastic, need to be deported. He's doing about as good as he can do. Obviously, ICE isn't perfect, making some mistakes. That's the human condition. Nobody's going to be perfect, and we got to try to limit those and make sure ICE is not causing more damage than need be. Having said that, a lot of them are doing very great work, heroic work. So here's the problems left as Trump's going to continue to do his thing the next couple of years. You have two what I would call other groups of illegal immigrants, one in the category of they've been here, whether it's been for 6 months or 25, 30 years, they're not taking advantage of the American taxpayer. They're not committing crimes. They're working hard. We know how many, we've seen them, although I'm here in Florida, how many, particularly Mexican migrants, I know a lot of nationalities as well, just come here, work hard, a lot of in the agricultural industry or restaurant industry, not causing problems, taking care of their family, and a lot of times escaping conditions. We'd be doing the same thing. And certainly as Christians, we want these people to do well. We don't want their families separated. We just don't want to be taken advantage of. But a lot of them, probably millions of them, are assets to the American people. So my proposal is this for these people. We give them 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, whatever it takes to process these people. Give them a card. We know who they are. We get an employer verification that they've got a job. We got that information, where they live, how many kids, everything about them. They get a card, and they can stay in the country for another 3 years as long as they don't commit any crimes. We're not deporting them for traffic tickets or parking tickets or nonsense. That way they come out of the shadows. They're not living in fear. It'll make ICE's job a lot easier, and they'll have these special cards that can be renewed. That's a win-win. This isn't rocket science. The left will hate it because it actually will work, and the Christians, conservatives, patriots will be like, fine, that's great. Then we got another group of people that maybe haven't committed a violent crime, but have been bilking the American taxpayers. For example, we know about what's going on with all the fraud, the Somali fraud and all this stuff, whether you're here legally, illegally, we have tons of fraud. But we've got illegals taking advantage of things like a child tax care credit, where even though they haven't paid federal income taxes, they get rebates back and maybe $3,000, $5,000, $20,000 a year based on the number of children they're claiming. Those people have to go. This is not a country where you break our laws, you come in, and then you take advantage of the American taxpayer. That's got to stop. So when we find out who those people are, we got to deport them. And so back to my earlier suggestion, when these people come in to sign up for their 3-year extension, we got to look into those issues at this time. Have you claimed any, benefits? What benefits have you claimed? And that's got to be a condition of staying here. So we do that, you solve the problem, okay? And it's really not that hard. It can be done. The Republican Party is obvious, and the left's going to be hard. The left is going to have a hard time running against that plan because it ensures that the millions of people here doing nothing wrong, as the left claims everybody's doing, we're going to let them stay, not become citizens, not voters for the Democrat Party, but we're going to let them stay, continue to be an asset to us as a nation. Next thing we got to deal with is the illegal immigrants. And for the last 40, 50 years, the Republicans have just sat idly by while we're importing a bunch of socialist Islamists that hate this nation's founding values, don't want to assimilate into a Christian nation with freedom of religion for all, with capitalism, personal responsibility. They're not here to assimilate. We've seen what's happened all over Europe. We see what's happened in New York City. We see what's happened in Minneapolis. They're not here to assimilate and be part of the fabric of our country with its founding values. That has to end. So when you get situations where we find out that, for example, let's just take Haiti or Somalia, and I don't know the exact numbers. We've got studies showing, 70% of them 10, 15 years later are on welfare. All right, so we can't be having these people come into the country in high volumes of number if it's bad for the American people. It's not a race thing. It's not a color of the skin thing. It's not a religious test. It's just common sense. Like, if you want to come into the country in large numbers from some of these countries, you got to make sure you're an asset to this nation. If it's not working, it's not working. The American government's the only entity in the world, business or other government, that just purposely does things to destroy its own people. I'm totally convinced of that. Except for the dictators, Venezuela, it goes without saying. But I don't think, we've seen what Europeans have done to their own people. But in any event, that's something else we got to do. We do these simple things. That part of the equation will work well. The other ideas are not complicated. Balanced budget amendment to stop the printing presses and reforming our education system, things we're going to talk about in other videos. Hope you enjoyed the videos. Love to hear your comments. Hope you have a great week and look forward to having this dialogue with you on many issues over the next weeks and months till we get this journey completed and we actually do save America. We have the best country in the world. Have a great week.